Spotlight tonight is Matthew Williamson from Brighton, an educational developer. His specialist subject is Round the Horne. Bob Porteous from Glasgow, a retired lecturer, and his subject is the life and work of William Thompson, Lord Kelvin. Derek Baxter from Blackpool, a community support worker, and his subject is Tamla, Motown. And Jerry Asquith from Northwood, a dental surgeon, his subject, the life and career of Aleksander Alekhine. Hello and welcome to Mastermind with me, John Humphreys. The questions are tough, but the rules are simple. 4 contenders will answer questions on their chosen subject and on general knowledge. 2 minutes on each. Tonight's winner will go through, of course, to the next round and then, well, who knows? So, let's have our first contender, please. And your name is?
Matthew Williamson.
Your occupation?
Educational developer.
And your chosen subject?
Round the Horne.
Round the Horne in 2 minutes. Who was Barry Took's writing partner on the first 50 Round the Horne shows?
Marty Feldman.
Yes. What's the name of the television chat show host played by Bill Pertwee?
Seamus Android.
Yes. Which vast and historic ceremony takes place at number 14 Sheepdippers Alley at the Balls Pond Road Festival of the Arts?
The Shuddering Brethren.
The Counting of the Scrodes. What is the surname of the clairvoyant Madame Osiris, played by Hugh Paddock?
Gnome Clencher.
Yes. Rambling Sid Rumpo, played by Kenneth Williams, performs regular folk songs, including the Ballad of the Wogglers... what?
Mooley.
Yes. What was the title of the show that was first aired on Christmas Day 1966 and is notable for being the only one in which Kenneth Horne did not appear?
The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yes. What's the name of the so-called ageing delinquent who's the thespian partner of Betty Marsden's character, Dame Celia Molestrangler?
Binky Huckaback.
Yes. Horne's character is forced to submit to the dreaded torture of being sung to by which British comedian in the episode Big Ben is Missing?
Ken Dodd.
Yes. Which group provided much of the show's music and, according to Horne, play a little flat, but where they come from, they're not allowed anything sharp.
The Fraser Hayes 4?
Yes, in Series 4, Gerald Monk's Habit broadcast from Antarctica, the Sahara, and a weather ship off the coast of which island?
Greenland.
Yes, one of Kenneth Horne, Master Spy's successful assignments was to persuade which Russian leader to stand as the Conservative candidate for Cheltenham?
Brezhnev.
No, Kosygin. In Gaslight, Son of Flicker, Daphne Whitethigh's cookery tips include a scallop of vole and hippo cooked in what way?
Fricassee.
No, in its shell. What is the name of the gents' boutique run by Julian and Sandy in Chelsea in the 5th show of the first series?
Bonadrag.
Bush. Richard Serendipity Mountbasket is credited as the father of what in the Clissold Saga Part 5?
Christmas pudding.
Yes, the makers of which brand of horse rejuvenator are promoted throughout the episode entitled The World Cup is Stolen?
Dobbyroids.
Yes, in the Kenneth Horne Theatre of Suspense production of Moby Duck. Started, so I'll finish. In the Kenneth Horne Theatre of Suspense production of Moby Duck, what is the name of the West Country seafarer who joins Captain Ahab's ship and is played by Horne himself?
Ebenezer Cuckpowder.
It is indeed. No passes. Matthew Williamson, 12 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Bob Portius.
And your occupation?
Retired lecturer.
And your chosen subject?
The life and work of William Thompson, Lord Kelvin.
William Thompson, who became Lord Kelvin in 2 minutes. What is the name of the square in Belfast where Thompson was born on the 26th of June, 1824?
Charlotte Square.
College. In 1848, Thompson published a paper in which he proposed an absolute temperature scale based on whose theory of the motive power of heat?
Sadi Carnot.
Yes. Thompson took the name Kelvin from which geographical feature when he was raised to the peerage in 1892?
The river that runs past Glasgow University.
Yes. The young Thompson received a prize from Glasgow College for his translation of which ancient satirist's work, Dialogues of the Gods?
Pass.
In his initial experiments developing what is now called the Joule-Thomson effect, what material did he employ as a porous plug for the gases to pass through, thus improving on Joule's original experiments?
Pass.
On board which ship did Thompson travel when the first transatlantic telegraph cable was laid in the late 1850s?
The Agamemnon.
Yes. In 1878, Thompson wrote articles for the Encyclopaedia Britannica on heat and which other subject?
Thermodynamics.
Elasticity. In a letter published in Nature in 1895, Kelvin stated that he was not led to differ much from Clarence King's estimate that the Earth was how many millions of years old?
20 million?
24. What was the name of the country mansion near Largs that was built for Thompson in 1875?
Netherhall.
Yes, under which initials did Thompson write his first published scientific paper in which he vindicated the work of the French mathematician Fourier?
PQR.
Correct. The existence of what type of atoms was proposed by Thompson in 1867, having been inspired by observing smoke rings in his colleague Peter Tate's laboratory?
Vortex atoms.
Yes, in the last year of his life, Kelvin presided over the installation of which future Prime Minister as Lord Rector of Glasgow University?
Pass.
In 1865, Thompson set up a partnership with which two inventors in order to share the royalties from their joint patents?
Cromwell Varley and Fleming Jenkin.
Yes, the yacht that Thompson bought in 1870 was named after which Oriental princess, who features in a poem by Thomas Moore?
Lalla Rookh.
Indeed it was. You had 3 passes. Asquith was the Prime Minister in question. Cotton wool was the material that he employed for that curious experiment. And Lucian was the work that the young Thompson translated. 3 passes. Bob Porteous, 8 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Derek Baxter.
Your occupation?
Community support worker.
And your chosen subject?
The history of Tamla Motown, 1959 to 1980.
Tamla Motown. Who replaced Florence Ballard when she left the Supremes in 1967?
Mary Wilson.
No, Cindy Birdsong. Which Motown act, who were prominent in the 1970s, made the albums Natural High and Midnight Magic?
The Temptations.
The Commodores. Who performed the song Wishin' and Hopin' as a duet with Dusty Springfield on the British television special The Sound of Motown in 1965?
Marvin Gaye.
Martha Reeves. Which 1967 record was the first single released to be credited to Smokey Robinson and the Miracles rather than just to The Miracles?
Tears of a Clown.
The Love I Saw in You. Which singer was highly successful in the early days of Motown but left the company in 1964 to record for 20th Century Fox?
Pass.
Who wrote the hit songs Ain't No Mountain High Enough and Some Things You Never Get Used To?
Holland Dozier Holland.
Ashford and Simpson. Which group had minor American hits in the mid-60s with Needle in a Haystack and He Was Really Saying Something?
The Velvelettes.
Yes. The voice of which producer, writer and mentor can be heard alongside that of Stevie Wonder on Wonder's 1966 hit single Blowing in the Wind?
Berry Gordy Jr.
Clarence Paul. Which Motown backing group of the 60s included Louvain Demps, Marlene Barrow and Jackie Hicks?
The Vandellas.
The Andantes. Who was voted out of the Temptations and replaced by Dennis Edwards in June 1968 because of his unreasonable demands and his unreliability?
David Ruffin.
Yes. What was the title of Michael Jackson's first solo single release in 1971?
Got to Be There.
Yes. Who won a recording contract with Motown as the first prize in the 1965 WCHB radio station talent contest on which he sang Everybody Loves a Lover?
1965. No, pass.
Well, I can tell you because we're out of time. Francis Nero was the answer to that, and your other pass, the highly successful singer in the early days, she left it to go to 20th Century Fox, was Mary Wells. 2 passes, Derek Baxter, 3 points. And our final contender, please. And your name is?
Jerry Asquith.
Your occupation?
Dental surgeon.
And your chosen subject?
The life and career of Aleksander Alekhine.
Aleksander Alekhine, in 2 minutes. Which Swiss delegate to the Comintern did Aleksander Alekhine marry in Russia in 1921?
Anneliese Rugg.
Yes. Held in 1921, what was the first tournament at which Alekhine played the defence E4 to NF6 that bears his name?
Budapest.
Yes. During World War II, he took part in consultation games in Krakow with which senior Nazi official who was later hanged at Nuremberg?
Pass.
After which tournament did the 16-year-old Alekhine receive the title of Master?
St. Petersburg.
Yes. What was the subject of his thesis for his law doctorate at the Sorbonne?
Chinese prisons.
Chinese penal system, yes. According to Alekhine's own words, which spectacular move that he made at Baden-Baden in 1925 stopped Reti's attack and brought him serious trouble?
Pass.
In which city was he competing in the chess Olympiad when the Second World War broke out?
Mannerheim.
Buenos Aires. Which American player defeated Alekhine twice in the Avro tournament of 1938?
Reshevsky.
Fine. Which game during Alekhine's 1935 World Championship loss to Max Erwu resulted in a brilliant win for Erwu that became known as the Pearl of Zandvoort?
Pass.
With which naturalised Czech player did he discuss a World Championship match that was scheduled for 1938, although political events prevented it taking place?
Floor.
Yes. What was unusual about the remaining pieces at the end of the 11th game of Alekhine's 1927 World Championship match with Capablanca in Buenos Aires?
There were 4 queens on the board.
Yes. What reason did he give for the bishop move that led to a double pawn sacrifice in his first round game against Flora at Nottingham in 1936?
Pass.
Alekhine is widely quoted as regarding his 2 most brilliant games to be the Reti game at Baden-Baden in 1925 and the game against whom at Hastings in 22.
Bogolyubov.
Yes, although he denied their authorship, Alekhine was widely condemned for writing anti-Semitic articles for which German newspaper based in France, which published the first of them in March 41.
Parisia Zeitung.
Yes, after which tournament did he sign the agreement with other leading grandmasters which established the rules for future World Championship
London,
matches?
1922.
Correct. At Bled in 1931, Alekhine beat which opponent? I'll finish the question in just 19 moves, which he later claimed was his rival's quickest defeat.
Nimzovich.
Nimzovich was correct. You had 4 passes altogether. He touched the piece by mistake. That was the reason he gave for the bishop move in that particular game. It was game 26 that resulted in that brilliant win for Erwu. And rook to e3 was the move that he made at Baden-Baden. And Hans Frank was the Nazi official who was later hanged at Nuremberg. 4 passes, Jerry Asquith, 10 points. So that's the end of the specialist round. Let's have a look at the scores. In 4th place with 3 points, Derek Baxter. 3rd place with 8 points, Bob Porteous. 2nd place with 10 points, Jerry Asquith. In the lead with 12 points, Matthew Williamson. So, general knowledge now, and if there is a tie at the end of this round, then the number of passes get taken into account. So let's ask Derek Baxter to join us again, if he would, please. And Tamla Motown rather let you down. There were an awful lot of names to remember and acts and heaven knows what, because it was a very, very big recording house at one stage, wasn't it?
It certainly was, John, yeah.
How did it come about? Motown, first of all, because it was in Detroit, which is Motown, obviously.
Berry Gordy Jr., he borrowed $800 from his own family.
They're all.
And started off the legend that came to be.
When you look at the artists that he had at the time, I mean, Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, Diana Ross, the Jackson 5, it was an extraordinary collection of talent, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. And they had groups go from other labels. The Isley Brothers joined in. The Four Tops were already established that.
It left a huge mark on music, didn't it?
And with the film The Dreamgirls, which apparently is based loosely on the Supremes, the interest is coming back.
Really?
So it's always about,
Good. Well, let's see how you do with general knowledge.
Hopefully a lot better. You never know.
Well, you've got 2 minutes of it. Let's have a look. Here we go. The warning, "This tape will self-destruct in 5 seconds," is associated with which television adventure series that's also been made into several films?
Mission Impossible.
Yes. Which feminist author and academic wrote a gardening column for Private Eye using the name Rose Blight?
Jermaine Greer.
Yes. Who was the president of South Africa from 1989 to 1994, brought the system of apartheid to an end and paved the way for majority rule in his country?
F.W. de Klerk.
Yes, in 2006, which pop legend composed a work for chorus and orchestra in 4 movements called Ecce Cor Meum, Behold My Heart?
Paul McCartney.
Yes, in which sport, particularly associated with Eton and rugby, is a ball propelled against the walls of a court using gloved or bare hands as if they were rackets?
5, so the ball game.
Yes. What alternative name for the plant Mimosa pudica comes from its peculiar habit of drooping when it's touched?
Pass.
Which Welsh actor met his first wife, Sybil Williams, in 1948 while making the film The Last Days of Dolwyn?
Richard Burton.
Yes. Who wrote the poem Lines composed a few miles above Tintern Abbey on revisiting the banks of the Wye during a tour?
Dylan Thomas.
Wordsworth. Which European country abolished its monarchy and became a republic after a referendum in 1946?
Spain.
Italy. Which Australian artist is particularly noted for his paintings based on the life of Ned Kelly?
Pass.
How is the prehistoric genus of the cat family, the Smilodons, better known?
Saber-toothed tiger.
Yes. Which television comedy duo made their straight acting debut in a remake of the detective series Randall and Hopkirk Deceased?
Vic Reeves and Bob Mortimer.
Yes. Which sculptor's works include the giant bronze statue of St Michael and the Devil at Coventry Cathedral?
Sir Henry Moore.
Jacob Epstein. Just started in 1940, to which Prime Minister did the Conservative MP Leo Amery address the words, "Depart, I say, and let us have done with you. In the name of God, go"?
Neville Chamberlain.
Neville Chamberlain it was. You had two passes. It was Sidney Nolan, that Australian artist. And the plant that droops is known as the sensitive or humble plant. You did much better. Total now of 12 points. And now Bob Porteous, please. I suppose you might have to tell people who Lord Kelvin was, because, in a sense, a household name, because we know the Kelvin scale,
Yes.
but not much about him, I suspect.
I think he was probably more famous for the more popular things that he did then, like the Atlantic Telegraph.
Oh, he was the man behind the Atlantic Telegraph.
He was the scientific advisor on both the unsuccessful one in the 1850s and the successful one after the American Civil War.
And that obviously transformed things. I mean, that just made such a difference to the world.
It looks as if it was the equivalent of the internet in its day.
It was an enormous engineering feat, apart from anything else, actually, to lay a cable across the Atlantic.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. He was also, the original one was a bit of a half-baked idea, sort of gifted amateurs, but he introduced things like, quality control, testing the copper, which had never been thought of before.
Right. 8 points so far. Let's see how you do with general knowledge. Here we go. Whose first chart entry called It's Not Unusual got to number 1 in 1965?
Tom Jones.
Yes. Ailsa Craig, Sungold and Moneymaker are varieties of which salad ingredient?
Lettuce.
Tomato. Which former tabloid journalist has written books about Diana, Princess of Wales, Monica Lewinsky and Victorian David Beckham?
Piers Morgan.
Andrew Morton. The Royal Museum of Painting and Sculpture in Madrid has been known by what name since 1868?
Oh, the Alhambra.
The Prado.
Prado.
What is the usual translation of the Arabic Arkan al-Islam, the 5 duties incumbent on every Muslim?
Pass.
Who wrote the novel The Talented Mr. Ripley, on which the 1999 film starring Matt Damon is based?
Pass.
Which town in the Drôme department of central France is famous for the manufacture of nougat or nugget?
Bordeaux.
Montélimar. In which Gilbert and Sullivan opera does Nanki Poo sing A Wandering Minstrel I?
The Mikado.
Yes. In mythology, what was the name of the only mortal Gorgon who was beheaded by Perseus?
Medusa.
Yes. In which English city are there 4 bronze pillars or nails on which merchants completed their transactions, possibly giving rise to the expression to pay on the nail?
Birmingham.
Bristol. From which country are men recruited for the military force called the Gurkhas?
Nepal.
Yes, in the 1951 film Bedtime for Bonzo, who played the role of the professor who tries to teach human morals to a chimpanzee?
Cary Grant.
Ronald Reagan. The small northern Italian town of Predapio has a tourist industry dedicated to which man who was born there in 1883?
Pass.
A cartoon featuring which Disney character was abruptly taken off the air when British television was closed down at the start of the Second World War?
Mickey Mouse.
Yes. What do the initials SI stand for in the context of scientific units?
Pass.
A painting by which artist entitled Giudecca, La Donna della Salute and San Giorgio sold for a record £20.5 million at auction in April 2006?
Sorry.
No, I can't repeat it. You're out of time.
Okay.
Take a stab. Give me the name of an artist. Think of an artist.
Botticelli.
No, it was Turner, but it might have been. SI, your other passes. SI stands for System International. Mussolini was born in that small northern Italian town. Patricia Highsmith wrote The Talented Mr. Ripley. And Arkan al-Islam, Pillars of Islam. 4 passes. Bob Portius, 13 points. And now Jerry Asquith, please. Now, Aleksander Alekhine. I suspect a lot of people won't have heard of him.
He's an amazing character because Kasparov reckons he was one of the greatest chess world champions of all time, and yet he was an alcoholic, was drunk most of the time. One wonders how good a player would have been if he'd been sober. But...
Quite. A very colourful life. He was imprisoned, wasn't he, by the Bolsheviks?
Yeah, well, he was told he was going to be shot, that is, his brother was, actually, because his brother was executed in 1939 by the Bolsheviks, and the door opened to his cell, and he thought, right, that's it, they're going to take me up to the firing squad. And there was Trotsky standing there saying, I gather you're a great chess player, we're going to play a game of chess to see how good you are. So he started off playing the game thinking, well, should I lose to let Trotsky win, or should I beat him easily, or what should I do? And the game went on for over 4 hours, and he made a few mistakes, but eventually beat Trotsky, and Trotsky turned around and said, you're a great chess player, you can go, and that was it, and he was released the next day. So
Good heavens. Right, you have 10 points. The top score at the moment is 13. Let's see how you do with your general knowledge. The plot of which classic novel centres on the relationship between Elizabeth Bennet and Fitzwilliam Darcy?
Pride and Prejudice.
Yes, in 1980, the Reverend Canaan Banana became president of which newly independent African country?
Pass.
By what name did the long-legged rodent, the jerboa, become more familiarly known after it was adopted as the symbol of the British 7th Armoured Division during the Second World War?
Desert Rat.
Yes, in golf, the winner of which event has received a silver claret jug since 1873?
The Open Championship.
Yes, Verdelho is a nutty, mellow variety of which fortified wine?
Sherry.
Madeira. Which mountain is now considered to be 33 feet higher than the first estimate of 29,002 feet, which was made in the mid-19th century?
Everest.
Yes. Whose first 4 films as a director were adaptations of works by Noel Coward, starting with In Which We Serve in 1942?
Pass.
Which Arab leader who holds no public office or title has been known as leader of the revolution in public statements since 1979?
Pass.
Which entertainer who lived from 1890 to 1982 is the subject of the biography With a Little Bit of Luck?
Chaplin.
Stanley Holloway. What common wintry name is given to the shrub Viburnum opulus, describing its large round heads of fluffy white flowers?
The Christmas Rose.
Snowball. Hannah Glawari is the title character in which operetta by Franz Lehar?
Pass.
Which county town close to the M6 motorway stands on the River Sow, a tributary of the Trent?
Pass.
Who became the director of the Royal Shakespeare Company in 1960 and succeeded Laurence Olivier at the National Theatre in the same post in 1973?
Gielgud.
Peter Hall. Which planet's existence was the first to be predicted by mathematical calculation?
Pluto.
Neptune. Which edible fungus is so named because its inner flesh resembles red meat when cut?
Pass.
What name is given to the 2 successive religious buildings of the Jews in Jerusalem, the first of which was destroyed by the Babylonians and the second by the Romans?
Pass.
Which British jazz vocalist and pianist had his first top 10 hit with the album 20-something in 2003?
Nora James.
No, it was Jamie Cullum. Your passes, it's the Temple, the name given to the 2 successive religious buildings. Beefsteak fungus is that edible fungus because of its flesh. Stafford stands on the River Sow. The Merry Widow is the operetta that I was looking for. Gaddafi is the leader of the revolution. David Lean adapted Noel Coward's work. And the Reverend Canaan Banana became president of Zimbabwe. 7 passes. Jerry Asquith, 14 points. And Matthew Williamson, finally. Round the Horne. You're obviously, at least I'm making an assumption here, but probably not old enough to have heard it when it was broadcast live.
No, I wasn't born when it finished.
That's what I thought. So, how come?
We went to see Round the Horne Revisited with some friends. It's been
the theatre
revised in a theatre production. And I've never known an audience in a theatre laugh so much. I was almost in tears.
It's extraordinary, isn't it, that it is so funny now, because you'd think it would be terribly dated.
And I think it's because they didn't. It wasn't trying to be topical at all. It wasn't trying to represent real life in any way, shape, or form. And so the things they did, like movie parodies and silly names and double entendre, they're all things that just stay funny.
Yeah, round the horn. You had 12 points with it. Let's see how you do with general knowledge. Here we go. Which island group that includes mainland, Fetla and Unst forms the most northerly part of the British Isles?
Orkney.
Shetland. Which sportsman decided as a child that his racial mix was Cablinasian, a blend of Caucasian, Black, American Indian and Asian?
No idea. Pass.
Who played Queen Elizabeth I, also known as Queenie, in the television comedy Blackadder 2?
Miranda Richardson.
Yes. Which organisation increased the number of its members to 26 in 2004 with the admission of the Baltic states, Bulgaria, Romania, Slovakia and Slovenia?
The European Union.
No, NATO. Which poem by Tennyson begins half a league, half a league, half a league, onward all in the valley of death rode the 600?
In charge of the Light Brigade.
Yes. What alternative name for a male deer is applied particularly to a red deer, stag, over 5 years old?
A buck.
Hart. In which German city would you find the Stock Exchange, the Bundesbank and the European Central Bank?
Bonn.
Frankfurt. Which soprano was born at Camberley in 1949 and has been particularly associated with the early music movement?
Catherine Jenkins.
Emma Kirby. In Shakespeare's Julius Caesar, who's described by Brutus as the last of all the Romans?
Brutus.
Cassius. Which southern state of America named chili con carne as its official dish in 1977?
New Mexico.
Texas. The death of which Russian Tsar's first wife in 1560 is said to have contributed to his erratic behaviour and the excesses of the latter part of his reign?
Ivan the Terrible.
Yes, the names of the biblical figures Jeroboam, Rehoboam and Methuselah are all given to sizes of what?
Champagne bottles.
Yes, which Frank Sinatra track spent over 120 weeks in the top 75 of the UK singles chart?
Fly Me to the Moon.
My Way. Which literary character was based on the writer W.E. Henley, a close friend of Robert Louis Stevenson, who'd lost a foot but maintained a very exuberant personality?
Long John Silver.
Yes, against whom did the United States fight the so-called War of 1812, which actually lasted until late 1814 or early 1815?
England.
Yes, Great Britain. In the Christian calendar, which day falls 4 days after Palm Sunday?
Maundy Thursday.
Yes, on 6th of April 1896, the American triple jumper James Connolly, I've started so I shall finish, became the first person for over 1,500 years to gain which sporting distinction? Take a guess. You're out of time.
4 gold medals.
Olympic champion. But you were close. You had one pass. Tiger Woods was Cablinasian. One pass, Matthew Williamson. You have 19 points. Well, that's it. Let's have a look at the scores. In 4th place with 12 points, Derek Baxter. 3rd place with 13 points, Bob Portius. 2nd place with 14 points, Jerry Asquith. In 1st place with 19 points, Matthew Williamson. Which means, of course, that Matthew Williamson goes through to the next round. Congratulations to him. Do join us next week for more Masterminds. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. If you'd like to be a contender on Mastermind, then please write to Mastermind, BBC Manchester, Oxford Road, PO Box 27, Manchester M60 1SJ, or log on to our website bbc.co.uk/mastermind.